Okay, well, after a couple weekends ago and Spray Foam Worldwide Carnival, we're back again, and I got Todd Bolton again. I actually had him at the carnival, but we had some technical difficulties, and it was actually I figured it out. It was my fault. I was making a mistake on the computer with the microphones, and so the sound's bad. So Todd, the one you were in, was one of them that didn't go through. I actually got some, but anyway, I'm glad to have you back, man. I told everybody, and that still stands, that anybody who was on, I still want to get you on again. We'll do it again. But Todd, busy man. You are a busy guy.
Yeah, I stay a little too busy. I tend to bite off more than I can chew, I suppose. I've kind of got this mentality of I just go and figure it out when I get there. So I keep a little too many irons in the fire, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, if you can do it, I guess. Last night was Monday. We had the Spray Jones, Mike, Dinah, and Bill and John, Stephen Davis, and I was out in the garage just trying to make something out of it because it's a mess, and your name must have been mentioned like 20 times in that conversation. Must have made you feel kind of good.
Yeah, I'm a little starstruck, to be honest with you. So I've watched Spray Jones for years. Never thought that he would be mentioning me, but after talking to him in Minneapolis, we've become friends. I think. I think that he's misunderstood and I think misrepresented in the industry sometimes. And I think that our conversation that we had was you probably pulled the plug on that one in Minneapolis on purpose, just to stifle a little controversy there.
That's funny you said that, because I mean, a few times, I mean, here we are, of course, there's a couple drinks gone around, we were all pretty good, but he's talking about the industry and the future of it and everything, and he's like, I'm sorry to ruin your podcast, and I'm like, you're not ruining it at all. I mean, I want anybody who's here with me on the Foam and Friends podcast, I want you to be you, whatever you is, right? And
Sure.
so yeah, whatever you is. And so, no, you're not ruining it all. Say whatever you want.
I'm just kidding. I think it was a great conversation. It was fascinating. And I hate that it got lost like that, but
yeah, I know I do. Trust me, I hate it a lot more than you. So I was able to salvage the first conversation I had, which was about an hour and 15 minutes. And that's going to be online here tonight or tomorrow. And then, there was another one shortly. We realized there was more time before dinner, so we had a little bit. Tyler Fisk, Bob Sellers, and I don't even remember. It was anyway. And then after dinner, after the giveaways and everything, we did all that with you and with a bunch of guys. I had Frank Mortal, and his son was on, Junior. That kid was killing me. I mean, it was like
right.
that was one part that I thought this is going to be really good, and I lost that too. So, oh well, it is what it is.
But, that was I think it was a stroke of genius to be set up just outside the conference like that, and then be able to just bring folks in as they pass by. That was neat. And I was thinking in my mind every time I walked by and seen somebody new sitting there, I was wondering how you were going to edit and filter through all that film. Didn't want to be in your shoes to do all that, but
I don't like to edit any more than I have to. Like, I let it just be completely raw. Sometimes you got to edit a little bit, but that was actually John Fredko's stroke of genius. He told me to bring the podcast equipment, which I wasn't sure if I was going to or not. And he said, bring it. I said, okay, fine. And so I did. And then when we get there, I said, let's get a couple extra microphones. He gave me 2 more. And so I only had 2, and he gave me 2 more. And then he said, this is where I want you to do it. And I said, okay, John, whatever you want, brother. So we did, and it was fun, and I will definitely do it again. This time I'm going to make sure I'm a little up on my game. What I did was I actually just one click of the computer that I forgot to hit, and that's all it was. That's all that it took. So it's a learning curve for me. I am not a podcaster by any stretch. I mean, I'm not I'm not much with the technical, but I'm getting there, and I'm really just better at yapping my mouth. So anyway, that was John's brainchild there. So. But
Yeah, that's
anyway,
great.
let's talk about you for a minute. First thing, there's a lot to talk about. You've got a new one, a new baby.
Yeah, 3 weeks old. Um, it's been, I'm 43. I didn't expect to have any more at this age, but I do, and love them nonetheless. But sure didn't expect to have any. But my wife's a great mom, so she takes care of them and does everything necessary, and she don't make me get up a whole lot in the middle of the night. I try to help, but she's just such a good mom. I don't try to get in where I can.
Well, that's important. You definitely gotta make babies with good moms.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm married outside of my league, so I got to keep her pregnant to hang on to her.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's good. Yeah, I saw you at a lot of the events. Never really got a chance to meet you until this past couple weekends ago, and it was great. I was really glad to. Big weekend for you. First off, I mean, you just released this book, which is getting great reviews. Everybody's so happy to have it, and everyone's saying good things about it, and everybody wants you to sign it and all that. So let's talk about the book for a little bit.
Yeah, it's become quite popular. It's really cool to get on Spray Foam Worldwide and see people post that I've got my book or it arrived, and see all these posts, and I think one specific post was, "Did you even get one if you didn't post it?" So it's really neat to see everyone getting so involved with it. I think we're at 150 copies sold now in 4 countries: U.S., Canada, Poland, and Australia.
Wow.
So my personal goal was 100, and I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, I'll be lucky if I sell 10. Nobody really wants to listen to me, but no, it's been a blessing. It's been really cool, and I've gotten kind of obsessed to get online on the on the page where it keeps up with all the orders, just to see another one click and another one sold, another one sold. So
I bet.
really,
I would be obsessed about that too.
Yeah, it's getting it's getting a little out of hand. So I've got to rein in on that. But yeah, we're up to 150 sold, and I think it's a really good book. Really, I mean, just breaking spray foam down into layman's terms, for people first starting out in the industry, and just giving them a general understanding of the jargon at square one, and being able to build from there.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I mean, a lot of people might want to get into spray foam, but they might be a little overcome about all the little things. And if you got something like that, it's like, listen, if you're a blue collar sort of guy,
Right.
here's a book that might work for you. You don't have to worry about maybe some too technical terms that they're not going to understand.
Yeah. Well, everything that I come across, and even doing research for the book, like everything is very technically inclined. So if you don't already understand the jargon, you kind of get behind. It's like getting in the spray foam industry is like, if you're in grade school, it's like starting in the second grade. So I just wanted to break it back down and go back to square one and give folks a kindergarten version to start at and let it build from there. And then we'll go from there. I'm about halfway through my second book. So that's
Really?
the one that I'm really excited about.
You mind give us any insight on what that's going to be titled?
Yeah. So it's more, I'm a spray foam guy, and I think I'm pretty good at it. But if someone asks me who I am, I'm a building science guy. And so the next book kind of leans on into my building science background a little bit more. It talks more, it's called the Ventilation Playbook for Encapsulated Attics. So it breaks down a few formulas. It shows people how to condition a space in the attic, once it's spray foamed, whether you're using a dehumidifier, supply air from an HVAC system, passive air grills, exhaust fans with humidistats. It breaks all those applications down and it explains how to do the formulas to understand the CFMs and the amount of volume needed. So the next one I think is going to be really good. It'll be far more interesting for people that are experienced in the industry.
Sure. Wow, that's great. Yeah. I mean, building science wasn't really a thing, going back 40 years ago, let's just say. where
Right.
we didn't have a whole lot of air conditioning. I mean, I grew up in a house without central air.
Right.
We'd be lucky to have a little window unit, in a bedroom. Um, Houses just breathed like crazy, and you heated them and cooled them like crazy, or maybe who
Yeah.
heated them. But there's a whole lot more to it today. And it's like a car, really. I mean, cars were very simple back then too. But once you start throwing all these extra things at it, you got to think about when you fix something, you're gonna have to, or when you make something better, you're gonna have to figure out how it's going to change the rest of it,
That's right.
and all that. So,
Well, everything's evolving in the world, and as times evolve, you either have to keep up or get left behind. So,
yep, that's it.
and I think that statement rings true in a lot of aspects for the spray foam industry.
Yeah.
But as far as in the second book, I think the spray foam business is hard. It's genuinely a hard business to be in. I'm in the air conditioning industry and the spray foam industry, and it's, as much as I hate to say it, it's a whole lot easier for me to make money in the air conditioning industry. I just have a passion for spray foam and couple them together.
Is it really? It's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
It's a lot easier to make money.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
Just
the phone rings a lot more.
No, it's just the margins are better.
Okay.
The margins are slightly better. How do I say this? It's easier to have qualified people that know what they're doing in the HVAC industry than it is in the spray foam industry.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate. I've got some good guys, but it's not like I could put out a job ad today and have a ton of applicants for guys that are actually qualified sprayers.
Yeah.
In the HVAC industry, there's a lot of qualified guys out there. There's a huge pool to choose from. It's just a matter of being able to entice the right people to come to work with you. And fortunately, I've got some really good people. My two HVAC managers, I go way, way back. When I first started in the HVAC industry coming out of high school or out of college, one was a lead man and the other one was a supervisor at the company that I worked for 10, 12 years. And so now they both work with me. So it's come full circle. It's really, really neat experience to be able to reconnect with those guys.
That's awesome. And yeah, like you said, I mean, if you're trained professionally, let's say trained, I don't know, through college, whatever, and you've got all your certification, all your everything for HVAC, yeah, you can kind of charge more. There's maybe less competition than something like spray foam, where, yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot last night. I didn't talk about it. I listened to it in my garage,
right.
But there's a lot of people out there who just get into it. And I'm one of those people, honestly. I'm totally one of those people. But I'm also one of the people that really took it to heart and said, this is my industry. I want to learn everything about it. And I did good work. Not to say there's any jobs out there that I probably shouldn't have done certain things or whatever. I think we can all say, yeah, in the beginning, maybe we made some, bad choices, but I tried to not get in trouble as much as possible, where some people just don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. So going with your HVAC background, at what point did you decide I want to get into spray foam? And tell me about your thought process about that, because I mean, this must have kind of happened, at some point in time where you decided, I don't want to do just HVAC, I want to do spray foam as well.
I think it's a bit of a snowball effect, and just trying to forge my own path. I don't know. Years ago, I've always had a will to be a little different, to get a little outside the box and think a little bit differently than everybody else. I've never wanted to be mainstream, to just follow the same path that everybody else follows. The one thing that I can't stand about the HVAC industry is that, I don't know, some years ago, over time, the HVAC industry has turned from a service industry to a sales industry. So it's like every technician that's sent out to go to a service call, they're looking at what they can sell, not how they can just fix something. And I say that, and I say that lightly. There's some good guys out there, but the vast majority of HVAC companies, especially the large ones, they're meant to sell. It's sell, sell, sell.
Mhm.
And I never wanted to go down that path. It's really hard for me to go to some 80-year-old lady's house that has an HVAC system that has a bad TXV and is still under warranty, and I claim other issues and tell her she needs a new system and sell her a new system, and that's basically where the HVAC industry is today.
Yeah.
So it's all about getting your foot in the door and seeing what you can sell. I wanted to go different direction. I'm new construction only, so the extent of my service calls are just warranty. If we put something in and it fails or there's an issue, then we go back and fix it. But I'm not living in the rat race of running to homeowner to homeowner to homeowner, just because it's difficult to keep up with.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, something must have clicked where you're just like, I want to get into spray foam.
Yeah, well, just growing up in the industry and forging my own path, I just saw a disconnect between the HVAC and the spray foam industry. I've always said that they're inverse coefficients of each other. They're two sides of the same coin, yet they're always treated separately.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided that I wanted to bridge that gap and treat them as one. And it's just kind of what I just gradually started doing, and that's where I am today.
Yeah. So who'd you reach out to first?
What's that?
Who did you reach out to when you decided you were gonna look into the spray foam industry?
Well, I've got a lot of good contacts in the spray foam industry. When I initially got into the industry, I did a lot of work with the Pro Foam guys out of Georgia. Super
Mm-hmm.
generous people. In particular, there was one sales rep, Elliot Turpin, and he's just second to none. If anybody is looking to get into the industry, they should reach out to him. He's a fantastic guy and just a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked a lot with Pro Foam, but it's hard to say because I've met so many people so fast because I bought my first rig in 2020. So, and things for me has evolved very quickly. Now, I delved into the spray foam industry before that, but it was subcontracting and using subcontractors for different things. Buying your own rig and getting and taking that step, that's kind of a beast of its own. Seems like in the spray foam industry, there's more margin for, well, how do I say it? There's less margin for error. There's more liability. It's really easy to lose money, if that makes sense, versus the HVAC industry, which sounds backwards. But it's really easy to get overspray on something or have something in your rig fail or somebody get hurt. It just seems like there's a lot more opportunity for things to fail in the spray foam industry. So I say there's much less margin for error.
For sure. Yeah. No, I got in with spray foam. With Pro Foam as well. I contacted them and they worked with me. So that was great because I needed somebody because I didn't really know a lot. But
it was like having a safety net working with those guys. If there was ever an issue, they were Johnny on the spot, and they were really good to me. They were generous people, and I don't have anything bad to say about those guys. Fantastic people.
In fact, I noticed that you dedicated the book to Doug Comet.
To Doug,
who I never had the pleasure to get to meet, but he tragically died in a motorcycle accident. Was it earlier this year? Was it this year?
December.
It was December. Okay. Yeah.
December. At his house in Puerto Rico. It's tragic.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your relationship with him, or did you have one?
Doug was a bit of a mentor of mine. We had some brief business dealings, but we maintained a very good friendship. And Doug's one of those people that is just a big idea guy. So I feed off of that because I'm a big idea person, and I get outside the box, and sometimes I have to rein myself in. So when I got around Doug and got to hanging around him, he made me realize a lot that you could just exist on your own terms and you didn't have to fall in place with other people. And that's what Doug did. He just kind of forged his own path and left a huge wake everywhere he went. And, just full of big ideas in life. And it's just the kind of person I've always wanted to be. I was really fortunate for the amount of time that I did get to spend with him to be able to learn just life in general, marketing. I learned all kinds of things from that guy. He's just a wealth of knowledge.
Mm, good to have. So with your book, kind of curious, like when I started this podcast, it was like you had these voices, right? You're like,
Sure.
you don't really have any business doing a spray foam podcast. Like you're not one of the guys who's been in the industry for a long time. You haven't done, a lot. And it's like, hey, whatever, I'm just going to do it. And if people like it, great. And if people don't, then, well, that's too bad for them, I guess. But, but I did it anyway. And I would imagine those voices must have been inside your head. Am I right or not?
I have been terrified to release it, if I'm being quite honest.
Good. I'm glad you're honest.
I
Because
was,
we got something in common then, all right? So yeah, tell me about that.
yeah, so it released right before we went to Minnesota. And I'm like, well, fortunately, while I was in Minnesota, the whole thing that I was thinking the entire time was, well, at least nobody has had the opportunity to read it while I'm here. So I don't have to deal with any repercussions face to face. I can kick this can down the road. You know, I don't know. It's a terrifying experience because you don't really know how you're going to be accepted. And I've heard some negative things. I've heard some great things, which is to be expected, I suppose. And
Sure.
when I was talking to Mike Spray Jones, I really like that guy. I'm going to follow him much closer, but it was like he told me in dealing with his own experiences, there's people that want to do things that just won't get out and do it. They're perfectly capable of doing it. They just won't make that decision and won't make that step and take it and move forward. And those are the guys that'll be the naysayers because it's something that they felt like they could have done but didn't do. So you're always going to have those people to critique you. And I was just kind of terrified as to how many people that were going to be. I was really dreading getting on Spray Foam Worldwide and every post be somebody finding a different line that they could pick apart about something that they interpreted differently, So
yeah,
fortunately it's been good. Everybody's just sent pictures of the cover and said they got the book.
Yeah. I think it's been really, really good overall for sure. And, if you don't do anything, if you don't go outside your comfort zone and do something huge, if you don't have any haters, are you really doing anything at all? So, I mean, I think it's awesome. I commend you.
Here's what's surprising to me is because there, admittingly so, are a ton of people in this industry that are far smarter than I am, that know a lot more about spray foam than I do.
Yeah, sure.
It's wild to me that nobody has taken that step to actually create a book series. There might be a couple of them. I think Tom Harris has a book out there, and it's very, very technical. But it just surprised me that, as long as the industry has been evolving, if you get online and you start searching Google, and you start Googling books, there's nothing that really stands out that can explain the whole spray foam experience to you, from just what spray foam is, how it works, and just build up from there. So it really took me back that there's nothing there actually that I could reach out to find. So I just decided to create it, and hopefully it would be accepted. And so far it is.
So far, I'm sure you've got your haters, whatever, but don't pay attention to them because the industry is one step better because of it, right? I mean, I feel like I said, I decided to start talking to spray foam friends, and I'm hoping the industry is just a little bit better because of it. So, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm really glad you decided to, not worry about those voices and just do it. And you saw it all the way through to the end to where it's published and where it's printed, and people are buying it. I mean, congratulations and thank you for doing that. There's a ton of people out there that will learn from it, just like Mike Dyna, also Spray Jones. If you don't know that name, if you don't know the Mike Dyna name, it's Spray Jones. He started out, we were sitting around a table and doing the podcast that didn't end up working, but you and me and Mike and Nick Bloomberg were all sitting around, and he basically talked about how he started with one single YouTube video, and then he did more and more and more. And I personally know people that have kind of gotten into the industry by watching his videos, and figuring it all out. So it's still a very young industry. Still a whole lot to. We've still got fiberglass, I don't think, in my opinion, isn't going to be around forever. So the latest and greatest is the product that we use, the product that we spray.
Right.
And so we are kind of the foundation, if you want, for the people that are going to be doing this in 20, 30 years and more. So you got to have a book, and you got to have all these different channels of ways that people that are getting into it can get knowledge. Even if you're you start working for a spray foam insulation company, and you don't really know what to do, but you want to prepare for this new job you got, you got to go somewhere, and you'll find these books and these videos and these whatever, and that's better than nothing, right?
Yeah. So, I think any resource that we can get put out, regardless of the vessel, is going to be a bonus for the industry. I mean, someone might read my book, and there might be a few things that they may disagree with. There may be a lot of it, most of it that they already know, but there might be that one nugget in there that just made it worthwhile. And I think it's important to keep inserting those nuggets throughout the industry wherever we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today is August 4. So primary election day for a lot of people. That's the actual recording date today. But anyway, so that would make it about 10 days ago that we were out there in Minnesota, and you won a set of foam from NCFI. Thank you, NCFI. Tell us about that whole story, because I don't want to tell it for you.
I did, yeah. So, well, I didn't expect to win anything. Sure enough, I won 2 raffles almost back to back, but one was a set of foam from NCFI, and of course we've got the project coming up from for Change the World One Set of Foam at a Time in Kentucky. And when I got up on stage to give Wesley Weichert the award for Badass Sprayer of the Year, I was like, here's an opportunity that I can compound a blessing, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm not naive. I got up on stage and I was like, hey, I've won this set of foam, and I want to donate it to the Kentucky Fellowship Project. But in order for me to do that, I'm going to need a manufacturer to match me. And I knew exactly what was going to happen. It's, our manufacturers in the industry are second to none. They're so generous. But looking straight ahead, I just immediately seen Kevin with Ambit, seen his hand go up. Several guys from Quadrant went up. UPC went up. So instantly, we turned one set of free foam that was a blessing into multiple sets of free foam. I don't want to say free, I guess that's the term I'll use. It's free. It's free for a good cause. So, it was a set of foam that I didn't arrive there with, and there was no reason for me to have to go home with it when I could turn it into something better for the industry. And then since then, we've had, so that was Ambit, Quadrant,
I think Rusty's. I don't know if
Rusty UPC.
I don't know if Rusty can give away sets, but he did.
I think he's got a little pool. I was intentionally not saying Rusty's name because I wasn't sure if
I want to hold him to it.
Yeah, well, but the thing is if UPC told Rusty no, Rusty would pay for it and just bring it himself.
He would, and I don't think UPC would back out at this point. They might take it out of his paycheck. No, I don't.
Rusty's one of my favorite people in the industry. I've gotten so close with Rusty, and my wife absolutely loves him and his wife.
Yeah.
So I hate that he's all the way on the other side of the coast from me, but the truth is, I think now I see him more than I see a lot of my own family.
Really?
Just from getting together at so many events. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Rusty's hand went up really quick, and I was in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I guess we'll see how this goes. But if UPC don't send it, Rusty will bring it.
Yeah.
But since then, I've had Central Urethane reached out.
Oh, wow.
Who else? Central Urethane. AccuFoam reached out today. Of course, AccuFoam stays involved, which all these guys stay involved with all of our projects. Everybody's reached out. It's been fantastic. Cameron Ashley's getting involved. Huntsman reached out. They're getting involved. Of course, Patriot. Mark stays involved. Mark's one of those guys where he's always said, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just know that I'm a part of it. So, I originally didn't put his name down on the sponsors, and he commented on something. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I know just to assume that Patriot's going to be involved in whatever we do. So many, there's so many good people in the industry, and I hate if I'm missing somebody, because everybody stays so involved in just trying to help others.
So, let's go to the whole one set at a time. Save the world one set at a time. So, you and Eric Gladson kind of got this whole thing going. Tell us a little bit about this. Yeah, I know he had one in Wisconsin for, I think it was a VFW hall. Was that right? Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, if you look in the summer edition of Spray Foam magazine, they just released the one that they just released this week. There's a whole article on kind of the origins where they did an interview with me of just taking spray foam, change the world one set of foam at a time back to kind of where it began. And that was really cool. Spray Foam magazine stays involved in everything that we do and tries to give us as much exposure as possible. So we certainly appreciate that. But yeah, they did a really, really good article. But it kind of really all started when not when I first got in the industry, but the first thing that I got involved with Spray Foam Worldwide was Evan's project up in Boston, where they had the monster house, the removal. Yeah. So that was when I kind of just met everybody. It just showed up there out the blue, and it was such a great experience. It was so heartfelt. There was so much camaraderie that was built there. Like, I left there just kind of yearning for more. I'm like, there's got to be more to this. So I just kind of took it upon myself to keep going, and Eric's been lockstep, every step of the way as well. So the two of us have just kind of snowballed this thing into something that's becoming much more than we anticipated. But
that's great. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but our next step is to get our 501(c), and we do want to move it into an actual nonprofit, and we have a vision for this thing that we hope we can make come to fruition.
Oh, that's great. So the one that's coming up here is October what?
October 9th, 10th, and 11th.
And that is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or what is that?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, we try to do them on the weekend.
Yeah.
Just because we are busy. We're all contractors. We're all regular people. We have families and customers, right? So it becomes a little bit of a strain on us, if I'm being honest, because we're trying to get all these things coordinated, and then we try to make sure that we can do it on the weekend and not take away too much from our business time.
Well, yeah, and you're running your own business also, so that's obviously that's a lot. Well, what part of Kentucky would you say this is?
Columbia, Kentucky,
which is like east west.
I don't know.
Oh,
I think it's.
I'm just wondering about people who live on, people who are gonna maybe make it. Depending.
I think it's almost central Kentucky.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And my wife and I were up there this past weekend. And of course, we took our 3-week-old with us and our 3-year-old with us, and we turned a 7-hour drive into an 11.5-hour drive from stops. But
yeah, that's the way it works.
Yeah,
it works. Yeah.
But what I didn't realize was how beautiful Kentucky is. The part that we were in, I mean, it was just just beautiful. I mean, most of the ride for us was mountains, and when you come out in the mountains, it's rolling hills and still feels like the mountains. It's just a beautiful place. Everything was clean and well kept, and I'm really excited to go back.
Yeah. If I have any sort of premonition or something like that, I think you guys are going to have plenty of help this one. Which you probably
Yeah, I think
you always do, but this one's going to be maybe like more people than you need, maybe.
yeah, we will, which is great because these things are twofold, really. I mean, doing the work and getting the work done, that's just a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's not even the biggest part because the work's going to get done. The biggest part really is the camaraderie that we build when we're there. Like my best friends in the world are now guys that I travel around the U.S. with and try to do charity projects with. It's the same guys that there's a core group of people that are definitely going to show up, and then there's some other guys that show up when they can, and which is certainly appreciated. And then we look forward to the guys that are starting to step in and starting to chip in and see where this thing goes. But my best friends literally are the guys that I go meet at these conferences or at these charity events and hang out with. When I'm home, when I'm here in my element, it's work and family. There's no play and as far as going and hanging out with people, I just don't really have time for it. So my best friends really are the guys that we show up with. So well, the more people that the more people that can show up and experience that, the better. Because I mean, it's a fellowship that you can't really put to words.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of gave me a informal invite online, and I mean, when we were in Minnesota, I was like, I'm gonna try to make this one. So get the Foam and Friends podcast out there too, just for the heck of it, and be able to have those conversations that are kind of active in the moment when we're there, which I think would be really, really neat. That'd be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna do everything I can to make it. I don't see any real big reason why I couldn't. So plan on me.
Yeah, that's great. I think I'll be excited to look back and see the conversations so people can really translate what's going on while they're there in the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting because some of the best conversations that we have do happen when the work's kind of settled down and the guys have circled up, guys, girls, whoever's with us. And this one in particular, I just look forward to sitting around a campfire and just chopping it up and just talking life with everyone.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is a fellowship, was like a church?
Yep. It's the Berean Fellowship. It's JT Myers Community Church.
Oh, yeah. I think I just said that maybe today. It's JT Myers. It's his church.
It's JT Myers Church. And so JT Meyer is the GC on this church, and they're building this with all volunteer help from everything is just being built, constructed from members of the church. And JT certainly didn't ask for any help. And initially, when I first approached him about it, it was like, hey, let's, because he was going to foam it. I was like, at the very least, I'm going to bring my rig and, I'm going to help you foam this thing. And then it just caught grip to turn into another project. And, it's very well deserved because JT is one of those guys that shows up for the industry and he just stays quiet and does what needs to be done. So I'm excited to be able to help give back to somebody that continues to give to the industry and he will continue to give for years and years. And my wife and I got to go spend the weekend with him this weekend and hang out with him and his family, and that was a blessing. They're just really good people. Mm-hmm. And I'm just excited to be able to help them and spend some more time with them.
How much foam are we talking?
8 sets.
Oh, okay. So we're about there with the donation.
Yeah, we're there now with the foam. So this one's going to be really interesting because initially he was going to do it all closed cell. But I kind of chimed in and I'm like, the building science guy says that if you wrap this whole church in closed cell, we're going to have a lot of reverb. So we're going to do some closed cell and some open cell just for some sound absorption purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of sound going in churches, so
Yeah.
definitely need to think about that acoustical value, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I heard a little bit of your story on Spencer's podcast about like this car accident you got in. What was it?
Oh goodness.
Do you want to talk about it again?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So
you don't have to go in length. It's just it's kind of inspiring. It's kind of interesting. Maybe a
yeah,
lot of people that know you don't really know that happened.
most people don't know. Most people don't know that my left leg has a titanium bone in it.
Oh, really? I didn't
Um,
know that either.
yeah. So in 2020 was a rough year. 2020
Yeah,
was tough.
even for people who aren't in car accidents.
Yeah. Yeah. So I fell asleep at the wheel, and I was going straight, and I continued to go straight when the road turned. So the road moved and I didn't, and I ended up hitting a concrete culvert underneath one of the driveways, and I flipped, rolled the car. They said about 8 times, and I was ejected through the windshield. I went through the windshield, hit a tree. Yeah, the good Lord kept me around for some reason, because the surgeons didn't understand how I was still alive, and spent about a week in ICU. They did some surgery on me, and fortunately I survived. But it was a very it was a tough experience for me. It was a huge spiritual awakening for me. I experienced some things that I couldn't understand. Don't know if I still understand it, but it was a very spiritual experience, and it really changed my entire paradigm on life. So I feel like at times that I'm gifted with a second chance. So my purpose here is to do as much as I can with it, and that's one of the main factors that continues to drive me is that experience. Is something that I don't wish on anyone by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm certainly not you know certainly don't mind that it happened to me, because it did put some things into perspective for me.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how some of the worst thing in the world that happened to you can turn into a blessing. And you met your
Yeah.
wife that way, or something like that.
Well, I just met my wife, with who is my wife now. I had just met her, and I think a lot of times people bond through traumatic experiences, and she was riding with me, and of course she had her seatbelt on, and she didn't get ejected, but she got out of the vehicle, and I was unconscious, and my tricep was hanging off my arm, so she was.
Oh.
She grabbed me, and she was holding my arm and holding my tricep back in place. And if anybody sees this big scar down my arm and down my backside, that's what that was. But it was a very traumatic experience. But afterwards, I went into ICU. She didn't want to leave my side. I was bedridden when I came home, and like literally, we had just met. I mean, with weeks, so to speak, and she didn't want to leave my side, and I won't say weeks. It was a couple of months, but she stayed there, like, helped me out, just pampered me. A lot of people at that point in time, someone you just met would have just been like, okay, I'm gonna wash my hands of this. Maybe it'll circle back up. But she stayed, and that carried a lot of merit. And here we are today, married. As a matter of fact, we got married in Vegas.
Yeah.
The Spray Foam Worldwide Conference. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, hey, that's great. I mean, it's terrible that you went through all that, but it's great you found love in a tragic situation like that.
Yeah. It makes for a good story.
Yeah, it does make a good story.
When we went to Vegas, she said we were on the way to Vegas, and she said, "Don't even mention getting married, because I am not marrying you in Vegas." And I'm like, "Hey, of course I wouldn't expect that." And we got to Vegas, and she started seeing all those chapels, and
Really?
it didn't take long. We had a spray foam wedding, but the chapel was full of people from Spray Foam Worldwide. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember the pictures. So what she softened her heart on getting married in Vegas once all
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that was a good experience. It was a really cool experience. I wouldn't change it. I didn't realize the marriage line in Vegas, the department that they have. It's like I call it the DMV of marriages. You go in there and
Oh,
you pull your number, call your name, and it's just like going to the DMV, but you're getting a marriage license.
yeah. Well, her
Yeah.
dad wasn't. Her dad's not upset, is he?
No.
Okay, that's good. Just wondering about how he was thinking about walking her down or whatnot. But no, it's great. You know, it sounds like you got some really, really great stories. That's part of the reason I was like, you know, of all the people that I lost on this, you know, this podcast that we had in Minnesota, I'm like, you were one of the guys. I was like, I really, really got to get him back though, because, um, you know, I just know you have so much to tell, and
Yeah.
um, with the book and everything. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. And then you had some sort of did you do like a save the world one set at a time thing out by you with the hurricane, or was that not really
Yeah.
a actual? I can't remember. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I've done a couple of them out here, and yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to top the emotion that we all felt when we were in Western North Carolina after the hurricane. Dealing with those families and the friends of people that had lost loved ones, and listening to the stories, and being there in that situation. I mean, everything just looked post-apocalyptic. It was a really wild situation, and you can't really express how little help that the people there were actually getting.
Oh
The
yeah.
media was saying one thing, but what was actually happening was another. Like, people genuinely were not getting help. I spent a fair amount of time actually up there volunteering, you know, aside from the project that we did, just getting food out to people that you couldn't reach by typical vehicle, and taking a lot of food up there. As a matter of fact, Evan and Joey, they loaded this huge trailer, flatbed trailer up with an enormous amount of food and products, and drove all the way from New York, Boston, all the way down to here, to unload it here. And during that whole process, my warehouse and my at my shop kind of turned into a food bank for a few months.
Wow.
And you know, it was just constant on the go, to North Carolina, just trying to reach people. But then when we did the project there, and everybody just converged on it, you know, we were able to sit with the family, and sit on the porch with Miss Periziti and just listen to their family stories. And that was their family house. And it was an extremely emotional situation. And you know, we rode just up the street, and we went up to a mountain where we'd met a guy, and he was telling his stories. And we passed a house on the way just up the street from where they were, and there was nothing there but a fireplace and a cross. So we were asking the guy up the street, well, you know, what was going on with that? Was the cross for? And come to find out that little house was a guy named Lenny. It's something I'll never forget. A guy named Lenny. He was like the local musician there. And the neighbor said that they saw when the water started coming up. The neighbor said he saw Lenny come out on the front porch. And the neighbor went out of his house and went up the hill up the back porch, and he said he never saw Lenny come out the back door. And next thing he knew, the whole house just washed down the river. And that was the last time. They never found him. So, you know, and there was so many stories like that. It's just something that, you know, it's an emotion that something catastrophic would have to happen to recreate that. And that's something that, you know, I definitely don't want to happen.
And it was what was it, like an incredible amount of water being forced down a river, or how did that whole?
Yeah, I mean, so through the mountains, you know, everything's valleys and rivers, so water just rushes to specific places and gushes down the river, and a lot of it flooded extremely, you know, extremely flooded. And just in volumes that had never been seen before. And it was, it was wild to really see how much damage that the water did, and just how powerful Mother Nature is. Just full bridges, concrete and rebar, the whole bridge is just swiped and gone. It's just wild. It was it was wild. And there's one picture, and I think I posted online. I think it was put in Spray Foam Magazine when they did an article on that one after it was done. But just a couple of guys standing on the end of the bridge, just pointing and looking out, and the bridge was chopped off. It's just super apocalyptic, almost like, almost something from a map on a video game or something. But it's just one of those things I'll never forget, and just really fortunate to have been able to been a part of that.
Yeah. Wow. Must be
Yeah.
very emotional. Yeah. Well, our time is getting close to done here, because I got another one. Let me see if I can turn the camera here. Let's see if you can make out who this is over here. Can you see? He's gonna have to get his face a little closer.
What's up, buddy?
Put those headphones on and say hi to Todd. You have to get over here. Dan's up next.
What's
up, Todd?
What's up, big guy?
You doing good?
Good. So I'm glad you just put Dan on the spot, because he's kind of close to Kentucky, and I was really hoping he was going to show up. I was just talking about Dan yesterday with someone. I'm like, I really hope Dan makes it this thing. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to come, Dan.
Yeah, I'm ready.
For those of you listening, this is Dan Mothershed.
Yeah.
Ready.
He's up next.
Yeah.
JT.
Oh, wait.
You and Eric. I'm ready.
Good.
I think I should be there for sure.
Good. We'd love to have you. It's a great experience when Dan came up to Wisconsin, and to watch him teach people and explain foam, and just be in his element, and just sharing knowledge is really cool experience to be able to see him interact with everyone. So I'd really like to have him back.
Yeah, well, I think now he's even more excited about coming too. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Anybody out there? Again, October, what do you say, 9, 10, 11?
9th, 10th, and 11th. That's right.
9, 10th, and 11th. Okay, so yeah, we'll get a bunch of people out there. There should be a lot of good times, and hard work and fellowship and all that stuff. So looking forward to it. Todd, hey man, thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it. You're one of those people. I mean, there's a lot of people that I want to get to know, but you're definitely high on the list. So good luck with the book. And if I don't, I'll see you in October, I guess.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me. We'll see you soon.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye.